Here we are. This is lesson 2 of drawing a Porsche Abarth, and what I've done here is to continue on doing the darkest part of the drawing in various places on the drawings themselves. The places that I'm talking about are places that are in shadow and are really dark compared to the outer body itself. So those would be in the wheel wells, front and back, as you see, the undercarriage or underframe of the car, which is profoundly dark, and the other tires and wheels on the far side of the car, which are totally in shadow. So those parts are all very dark. Now I'm working on a part that's not quite as dark, but that's inside the cockpit in the driver's compartment. And this is over on the driver's side, basically. And what it is it's the part that is not in ambient light there, and I'm working on that now. Then there's the little bit lighter place that you'll see tomorrow that's inside the car, but it's toward the back, and it's back closer to where the windows are, and that's a little bit lighter. So we'll do that tomorrow. But what I'm doing here is I wanted to establish where the really dark parts are first, and then that's what I always start out with. I always start out with the darkest parts first, and then that is to say most of the darker parts. Then sometimes, like on this case, I haven't done the wheels and tires. I usually save those for the end, and they may end up being very dark in the end too, but I like to do the places that are in shadow first, not just the places that are black. And now you see here I'm working on the rear end of the car. It's an aluminum body in this case, very light car, very beautiful slippery shape on this car. But what I'm doing here is working on the rear end of the car. It is in shadow slightly, and it's going to give me something to work the rest of the body against. And the reason I need that is because I don't want to get very dark on this. It's a silver car, and silver is very easy for me to draw because that's what ink looks like if I don't put it on too heavily. But I can also, be a little overly creative and get it too dark, and then I suddenly have to make a black car or blue car or whatever. So this is another one of those things where I have to be very careful with how much ink I'm putting in any one particular place. But the base coat that I'm laying down right now is light enough that it could be silver anywhere on the car. So I haven't gone over the amount that I wanted to do. And when I get down a little bit more, then I'm going to be able to darken that up so that the underside of it, which is in shadow again, will be okay, and the rear of it will be more dark too, and that will be in shadow too. And then we'll be able to work one area against the other, and this is going to look great. It's really a trick looking car. I think it's just beautiful. For a small car with fairly good power output, but a very small engine in these things, they just were rocket ships, and they would give fits to the larger engine cars that were a lot heavier, of course. On short tracks, this thing could eat big cars alive. But of course, if it had a long straightaway, then the engines in the larger cars would take off, and that would be the end of it. But when you got on a short course and tight turns and all, these were very nimble and very light, so they could accelerate like crazy out of a corner. And because they were light, they didn't have to have huge wide tires on them, so they didn't have a lot of rolling resistance, and everything just worked in their favor. They were a very efficient race car, and plus they're just beautiful. I mean, the body shape of this looks like an airplane without wings practically. It's so smooth. And also, if you take a look at it, you can see a lot of the influences that later turned out to be 911 elements, and it's a very trick looking car. But you can see that kind of 911 sort of shape. It's, not all the elements are there, but some of them definitely are, and you can see how it could have evolved into the 911. Okay. And again, I'm just trying to lay down the boundaries, and it's kind of a loose sketch on here. It's just a couple lines with pencil, so it's not very well defined. I didn't put everything on here that's on the photograph. But getting down toward the end of it, and if you come back tomorrow, you're going to see a lot of progress made in this thing, and we will start to actually show the boundaries of the body and how it's coming along, and I think you're going to be stunned how fast this body is down at that point. Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much. Bye.